Hello viewers, welcome back. Adam here. We got another war video today. Haven't had a lot of time to do much else, and in fact I'm quite behind on war videos, so probably be a slew of these in the next few days. Anyways, let's get into the first fight here. We're on Hazard Shift, Prowler versus Sentinel. So Prowler is my favorite counter for Sentinel pretty much anywhere on the map or in any game mode. Not a surprise, Prowler's my favorite for many champions. He does make the end phase of Sentinel when he gets his armors pretty trivial, just due to the power drain and lock. Keeps him from going to special 3 almost guaranteed. So here we only have one immunity, so we're just gonna wait out the rupture. I believe because this is node 9, I believe he'll get like a big fury if I get any debuffs on me. So while I could survive a couple ruptures, like that's not gonna kill me, it would give him a huge fury, and it's just not necessary in case I get caught by a heavy shock or something like that. Yeah, just playing it super safe. So I don't really want to hit him at all with rupture, otherwise it would be fine to do so. So he's almost down to that armor phase now. That bleed is up. I can go ahead and safely hit him a few more times. There's another advantage too of just not hitting him at all during rupture. He's not playing into my intercepts, which is quite annoying. But there's another advantage, is that because I didn't even hit his block, I'm able to apply that incinerate when rupture ends. So trying not even to hit into his block. Obviously if I start to get cornered, that's going to change, but as long as I don't hit him at all, I'm able to get that incinerate up there. So I probably should have done it again, because that incinerate just fell off. But right here you can kind of see what I mean about that. Helps a lot with that armor phase. I believe he was locked for one of them, or drained right after he used a special there, so he didn't really get a large burst of power. And Sentinel having 100 charges is also not really a big deal, because again, draining his power all the way down every time. So this was just a super slow, especially in the fights I'm used to doing, super slow Prowler fight here. But again, just trying to be very safe. It's a hazard shift, so things can get out of control fairly quickly. I'd rather play it safe and be a little slow than end up dropping an attack bonus there. So next fight on hazard shift is going to be Sinister versus Bullseye. I'm not sure if it's possible to die in this fight. I mean, I could probably set my phone down and I'd be fine. Obviously I could time out, but in terms of just actually dying, I'm just not totally sure if that's even possible. So did a power start 1 just to get that special off faster. Only thing is I have to wait out the invulnerable or indestructible. And that just comes from the node when I get a bar of power, so I'm just going to wait that out. Obviously I kind of want to get some of the hazard shift debuffs on me if possible. At least a couple of them, just to increase those degen transfers. I'm going to go ahead and transfer it there with a couple shocks, so that's nice. Pauses degen. I believe I did take the Apocalypse synergy here, so the degens are just doing massive amounts of damage. There's really, again, pretty straightforward. Anyone who's used Sinister against Bullseye or even have ever seen it, this, again, I really don't even think I could possibly die. So just gonna probably go through one more special 1 cycle, wait out this last indestructible here, and then he will most likely go down. Pretty somewhat boring, straightforward fight. Again, Sinister's so good, you can even totally miss time throwing your special and throw it into their block, and it still works, because he's Mr. Sinister. So let's take Mr. Sinister to the next fight and have a little bit more of a challenge. A little bit more going on. I actually do have to kind of wake up and pay attention in this fight here. So Mr. Sinister is really good for this here. I didn't go through the nodes. This is node number 26. I don't recall the nodes off the top of my head, but we'll see him here. The big thing that I like Sinister for here is because he can block unblockable specials, and Sersi has tricky specials. Okay, you'll notice I'm just taking a bunch of hits to my face. So something really strange happened in this fight. Parries are just not working. As you can see, when my parries do work, it's because I feel like at least I'm tapping the screen like, I don't know what happened there. I am tapping the screen like incredibly early, like while she's still dashing, because it's just not working. So really weird kind of input issues here, like right there again. I mean, that's a parry. That's a parry all day. That really never happens to me, so this was really weird. So I'm kind of getting a little scared. I'm like, man, am I actually going to die with Mr. Sinister? Like, probably the hardest champ in the game to die with. But we're just trying to be extra early and careful. I threw it into glancing there, which was not smart. I know that I can block her special 2, so I'm not like too worried about pushing her to special 2. Again, kind of a tricky deck, so I'm not even going to try it. Obviously, I'm taking some block damage, but really the most important thing here is if I can just get this last parry off. At this point, I see that it's going to be enough, so I barely squeaked out of there with the win. So again, really kind of funky input issues, but that's a fight you kind of have to think about. If I could have focused on something other than just parrying, probably would have not thrown so many specials into her glancing buff, because that made that fight significantly longer than it had to be. Final fight of this war here, Future Ant-Man versus Node 35 Northstar. So I just ran through the nodes there. We got one eye open. Obviously don't want to be doing, relying too much on just parry and hitting him. However, this node also has the protection knockdown. So as long as that protection is active, parry heavy is very safe, because that protection is actually going to also end up kind of protecting you from the one eye open damage. So I'll just start the fight that way, kind of use that to my advantage. From here on out, though, like Future Ant-Man has such good fight control, and I'm throwing a good amount of special ones that I'm just going to use that for the knockdown. And I went in a little bit too early there. I probably should have done a light attack, and I probably should have hesitated like another just, half a second there. Normally when they don't have power, if you kind of hesitate a second when they're against the corner and then dash in, you'll be able to intercept them, I found with Future Ant-Man. But yeah, anyways, I was a little faster. I kind of knew it when I did it. It felt a little too fast, but I think I'll get it here. You kind of see I wait just a little bit longer before going in, and I find that to be really reliable with Future Ant-Man. I think it maybe has to do with like takes a second there for the aggression to kick in, because I noticed that with many characters that have some aggression, like Future Ant-Man always has it with his armor. But yeah, there you go. Finally got my way up to special 2, and fight's over. So 4-fight war. Got him down without any deaths. Got a couple scares there, but we made it through. So that's war 4 down. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. We'll see you next time. Thank you.